Another bedtime story, but no elephants by Jerry Smath. And the only reason I'm reading this book, boys and girls, tonight is I was helping my daughter, my youngest, get her hair dried before bed, and she picked this up off the bookshelf. And this used to be a book that Mrs. Lucart would have listened to when she was a little girl. This book was published in 1979, so I was only 4 years old when this book came out. And I actually remember seeing this book and many like this. Like The Witch's Four was one of my favorites, and all those Frank Ash books with Sandcake. So anyway, I'm going to read you a book that I used to hear when I was a child, but no elephants. Grandma Tildy lived all alone. She worked hard all day. She had no time to play. One day, a man came to her house. He was selling pets. "Would you like to buy a canary bird?" asked the man. "Very well," said Grandma Tildy, "but no elephants." Grandma Tildy was cooking stew. The bird wanted to help. So he sang a song for her. It made Grandma Tildy happy. That night they sat down to eat the stew together, and it tasted better than ever before. The next day the pet man came again. "Would you like to buy a beaver?" he asked. Very well, said Grandma Tildy, "but no elephants." And there's the little beaver off there in the corner, boys and girls. Grandma Tildy needed firewood. The beaver wanted to help. So he cut the wood with his sharp teeth. That night they sat in front of a warm fire. And you can see, boys and girls, now she has a beaver and she still has that canary. Grandma Tildy went shopping. She met the pet man again. "Would you like to buy a turtle?" he asked. Very well, she said, "but no elephants." I see more pets inside of his little truck, so I'm not sure how many pets Grandma Tildy is going to end up with at the end of this story. Grandma Tildy was tired. The turtle wanted to help, so he carried her home on his back. That night, Grandma Tildy washed the turtle and put him to bed. The next day, it rained hard. The roof started to leak. Then someone knocked on the door. It was you-know-who. I can see him outside, boys and girls, in his truck. It's that pet man again, ready to sell Grandma Tildy another pet. "Would you like to buy a woodpecker?" asked the pet man. Very well, said Grandma Tildy, "but no elephants." The woodpecker wanted to help, so he nailed the roof down tight. The dripping stopped. So, boys and girls, he was using his beak like a hammer. That night, they all danced together in the warm, dry house. The days got colder and colder. Grandma Tildy put food in jars for the winter. "I don't like the cold," she said. Just then, the pet man appeared. "Would you like to buy an elephant?" he asked. "He's the only animal left, and I must leave him before it snows." "No, no elephants," shouted Grandma. She went back to her work. The pet man left. And there we see the elephant, boys and girls, outside of the house in the snow, and the pet man just left him there. But the elephant stayed. It started to snow, and it kept snowing. And snowing, and snowing and snowing. No elephants, said Grandma Tildy, but the elephant would not go. They could not see the elephant now, but they could hear him crying. They felt sad. Very well, called Grandma Tildy. You may come in. The elephant was as happy as could be. So boys and girls, right here he is, all covered in the snow. And then they decide to go ahead and let the elephant in. Look how happy he is. I wonder if he's going to fit inside Grandma Tildy's house. But the elephant had a problem. He could not get through the door. So they all helped to push him inside. Oh dear, said Grandma Tildy. I hope the floor is strong. This is a very old house. Outside, the snow kept falling. But inside the house, it was cozy and warm. Everyone hoped winter would go away and spring would come soon. Crash! That night, there was a terrible crash. The elephant had fallen through the floor. We cannot fix this, said Grandma. You will just have to stay there. The winter was long, and soon the firewood was gone. The elephant was always hungry. He kept eating and eating and eating until the food was gone. We cannot leave or we will freeze, said Grandma Tildy. We cannot stay or we will starve. What are we to do? The elephant felt sorry. Then he thought of a way to help. So there he is, boys and girls. All the food is gone, and he's starting to think, how can I help? He started to walk. Now remember, he fell through the roof. He fell through the floor. So his feet are sticking out at the bottom of the house, and he's carrying the house along with him and all of the animals and Grandma Tildy inside. He walked and walked and walked and walked. And boys and girls, right here you see a sign that says south. So now he's going to go south during the rest of this winter time. Because when you go south for the winter, you're getting closer to the equator. And that's the middle of the earth. And the closer you get to the equator, the warmer it is in the winter. When he stopped, they were in a warm, sunny place. And there they are, boys and girls. So now they don't have to worry about staying inside the house. They can go outside and they can find food. They can get berries. It looks like there might be an apple tree right there. I saw coconuts in the trees. And that is where Grandma Tildy and her friends stayed. You can see the elephant is sunbathing, and it looks like he has some of his family or friends coming to visit him. Well, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed that story tonight. This was one of Mrs. Lucart's, like I said, favorites when she was a child. So I just happened, this isn't the actual one I had when I was a child. I found a secondhand copy of it. I started to buy these a long time ago when I started to find them. So I hope I get to see you tomorrow. Good night.